Three, two, one, and go.
Boom, back here, Victory Chevrolet on the Victory Boys podcast. Like I said last time, Dwayne, I don't know if that's the actual name of the podcast, but
Works for us.
works for us. Pretty simple. We're simple guys. So we're just going to go with it for now. So have Dwayne Colvin here with us, big Northwest Missouri guy from Stanberry. Um, and I will say this right now: he knows more about trucks and trailers than anyone else in this dealership or any other dealership that's in the state. Guaranteed, this guy knows about it. So, welcome, Dwayne, on the first time
Appreciate
on the
that.
podcast.
Appreciate that.
Man, tell us what made you get so involved with trucks and trailers.
It's pretty much been my whole life. Growing up living in the country, you don't deal with a lot of cars. Most of the stuff you do is with a pickup, trailer, you're hauling stuff. For me, early on, hauling four wheelers, dirt bikes. As you get older, it's campers, boats, now skid loaders, tractors. It just you grew up in a farming community, you learn to hook onto trailers, you learn to haul, you got to haul hay, you got to haul livestock. You learn a lot about everything to do with the pickup, everything to do with the trailer. You
And
know,
you'd be really surprised on, just guys that are wanting to get into trucks, or they're getting into a camper, or to pull a camper, and they really don't understand. All right, I need a hitch. Okay, well, do you have a Kurt hitch? Do you have a B&W? And
are you pulling a fifth wheel? You're going to convert it to gooseneck? Yeah, very few of them that haven't pulled trailers know what they're getting into before they buy a truck.
Um, and so whenever you come out to Victory Chevrolet, and you're looking for trucks and trailers, and you know you're going to be pulling something, there's no doubt in my mind Dwayne's the guy to go to. If you come and ask me, Dwayne, I know you get this all the time, but if someone come and ask me, I'm just going to straight tell them, go see Dwayne Colvin. And I know that happens to you quite a
It,
bit.
it happens, and that's the one of the best things about our organization is everybody here helps everybody. If Tracy, for instance, has a customer, she don't have much clue about a trailer or a hitch. We're always there to help. Her customers are going to get the knowledge they need regardless of who's helping them. Everybody helps everybody here. So when it comes to stuff, you know this, she knows that. Everybody helps everybody. So as far as the hitches and the trucks, yeah, I get asked weekly about a hitch, about a B&W or a Kurt, or what's the difference, or does this turn over? Does this have hooks? Most guys that are just getting into the camping, they don't know what they're doing for the most part. They need a little bit of knowledge.
And it's like camping season now. I mean, you just got back from a camping
I
trip, didn't
did.
you?
I did. We was down at Warsaw. We went to Truman Lake over Memorial Weekend. It was a good time.
Yeah, did you do any
We
fishing?
did a lot of fishing. Did a lot of cooking. I did more eating than anything.
That's
But yeah,
that's a lie. I bet you did more beer drinking than anything. So,
I did my share. I did my share. We partake in a little of that.
so you guys got another trip coming up at all,
Labor
or
Day weekend, we're gonna go back down there. Been been busy with summer. Got a
yeah?
lot going on, working on the house, so don't have a lot of free time in between here and then. But
Well, I was gonna say you've been hauling that skid loader everywhere too. I know you helped us put in this lot we have just for a little extra room over here.
we moved 400 tons of gravel and got it done just in time for a grand opening. So that was nice. We got to clear up about 80 spots so we can have room here.
Need
But
a
yeah,
little room,
made a little room, but
but
we needed it.
we got it now. I mean, uh, and so let's divert a little bit on a topic, because, like you guys know, we talk hunting, we talk cars, we talk sports. Um, we will talk about anything here on this podcast. Um, and man, I was just thinking about something. What would be probably one of the craziest test drives you've ever been on?
Uh, it had been about 2018. I had an ex-California Highway Patrolman want to drive a Corvette, and he was a good, loyal customer. He didn't have any intentions of buying it, and it wasn't my customer. But the sales guy at the time was having issues with his back, and he said he couldn't ride in it. And I didn't think nothing about it. I'll go for the ride. But before I knew it, we was on 6 highway doing 170 miles an hour. And this guy's, mind you, about 80 years old. And we're on a 2-lane highway, and he's ex-highway patrol, so he could drive. But he's also, to the point where I'm a little nervous. First time I ever been nervous in a car was with that man.
Nervous. I bet something puckered up pretty quick.
All I thought about was heart attack, deer, anything, I'm done.
We don't have that dangerous of a job, really. We're pretty easy. I mean, really the most danger we have to do is just watch out what we're eating so we don't have a heart attack.
Pretty much.
But rather than that, there's no hard labor in what we do.
No, there's no labor really involved.
We're not climbing, 100 and we're not getting 100 feet up in the air. There's no hazard pay.
Right.
But I know a guy that he didn't make it on the test drive. Old Titan.
Yeah, that was a fun deal. He come running in the dealership that evening. Old boy come in, and that was back during COVID when he had to wear a mask. And guy had the mask on and walked around, and he wanted to test drive this particular truck. Well, it was in service, waiting on some parts. It still run and drove, but
it was a sold unit,
and it was still in service, waiting on something to get done. And he still wanted to look at it, adamant about it. So Titan, he walked him out there and gave him the key, and the old boy got in the driver's seat, and Titan was just standing there, and he started it up, looked around. All of a sudden, he shut that door, and away he went. And Titan was just like Bart Simpson. Eyes great big, didn't know what to do. The guy took off out of there. Titan come running in, couldn't hardly breathe. Hey, the old boy just stole the truck.
I remember him, he's yelling. He says, a guy just stole the truck. A guy just stole the truck. And I go, nah, calm down. He goes, D. Mitch, I'm telling you, the guy stole the truck. I said, well, maybe, but chill out for a second here. And we get the cops on the phone, and that guy's long gone.
Yeah.
They found the truck. It was probably a couple months later,
it was done.
It was, it needed more than just a couple parts from service at that point.
No longer a sold unit.
But, so, rather than not very, like I said, hazard pay, no, we're not in a very dangerous field. But there is some one-off situations that happen, just test drives like that, or just some goofball just grabbing the keys and wanting to steal something and take it off. I'd say really getting into a test drive. So you've done thousands of them, and they don't bother you at all.
No, for the most part, most people are. 99% of the world's pretty good. You don't have much to worry about, and living up here, I guess we're blessed because you usually somebody here knows the people that walk to the door.
Sure.
Normally, hey, there's so-and-so from up here. Like, yep, most of the time our customers are previous customers, or their friends or family of our previous customers, so we don't have a lot of troubles. You don't see you don't second guess yourself, I guess, usually when you get in a test drive, unless you're doing 170 down a 2-lane road.
Just, hey, keep it between the ditches.
Please do so.
That's where it really gets to. Keep it between the ditches, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I know you guys don't know Dwayne on a personal level quite yet, but man, this guy is king of shenanigans around here. Always wanting to pull out shenanigans, and there's always some shenanigans he's got going on. But I tell you what, I got him. I got to tell him about the over at Tanner's Bar and Grill. This has got to be one of my favorites. So Dwayne and I going back and forth with shenanigans. He does a pretty good job of playing the old jokes, has some crazy picture of me on my birthday cake and does that stuff. But man,
let me back up real fast. Let me just say what I did for you the night before you did this to me. Okay. So that night we have a big dinner ball. Everybody's dressed up for work. I'm not gonna go because I'm gonna watch Derrick's daughter so that he can go with his wife and have a good night out by themselves. So me and Haley plan a date. We're gonna go to dinner. We're gonna go do all this stuff, and I mean, I'm watching Derrick's kid. I'm doing the man a favor so that him and his wife can have some alone time.
And we appreciate that. It
And
was a huge favor for us.
they get done, and we decide to go to this Tanner's to have a drink afterwards, which was nice.
Yeah, it was.
And then I'll let you finish with your story.
So Dwayne just met, and don't mean to put your business out here, but he just met this girl, Carissa.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry to tell you, buddy, but you outkicked your coverage on that one. So, and he knows it.
Oh, I do.
And he knows it. So, but you've only been dating for a couple weeks?
About a month.
Okay, a month. And so we're all dressed up. Now, Dwayne's not dressed up. And Dwayne's not there yet. We're at the bar and grill, and we're all in suits, and the ladies are all dressed up in their dresses. Well, so all these people at Tanner's think, man, what are they here for? And they must have just came back from a big reception, or someone got married. Well, Dwayne pulls in, and I go, oh my gosh, this is set up perfect. And I tell the whole table, when Dwayne and his new girlfriend, and not to mention, I've never met Carissa at this point. I said, when they walk in the door, I just want you to stand up, start clapping, saying, woo, congratulations, the newlyweds. And man, that happened. And so they walk in, and the place just goes irate. There's people from other tables coming up and congratulating Dwayne and his.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had people actually walk up to us congratulating us. And I was just like,
you should have seen his face. It was so red.
I can't say what I want to say, but yes, it was. He got me. He got me good.
I mean, it's about as good as the dance video, but we won't play the dance video again.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
But
yeah, we've had our fair share of fun. That is one thing about the car business that I will say you make it fun. You have to make your work fun, and we do have plenty of fun.
Yeah, and then sometimes the shenanigans, we don't get too crazy. I know Dwayne's been into some that you guys have kind of taken it to the next level, but we've kind of steered away from getting too crazy. What'd you do you put some stink bait in somebody's truck before?
I put some trapping skunk oil in a bowl on the floorboard of a coworker's truck. Yeah. So long story short, it stayed in the detail shop for 2 days before it got traded. It wasn't good. It was a little excessive. But no, them kind of shenanigans happened a lot. I went on vacation once, and I come back, and you have your own cubicle in the back room. Every sales guy has their own cubicle for your personal belongings. I walk back there, and every single item on my desk, in my desk, under my desk is wrapped in newspaper, including the mouse, including the screen, every pen, every pencil, everything. And I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking that this would have took somebody hours, not minutes, hours to do.
And it was worth every minute of it, I'm sure.
Not for me. It was hours of unwrapping for me. But no, shenanigans they do happen. They happen often at work.
So there's some downtime in this business.
Sure.
Might not be much hazard pay, but there's some downtime if you don't keep yourself motivated and always on the go. So, but other than that, it can always be fun, and I know that you and I enjoy going after one another. And there's other people involved too. It's not just Dwayne and
we definitely we make it a fun place to be. Obviously, this is your family away from your family. You know, I see you just as much as I see my kids or my grandkids or your wife or your husband. When you're at work, this is you got to make the best of it, but you got to have fun. It ain't just sit at your own desk and type away at the computer, and you got to build relationships with your coworkers as well as the customers. So, yeah, I'd say it's a shenanigan place
for sure.
Yeah.
So here's one of the topics I wanted to talk about, and we don't do very many of these around this area, and sometimes it's just maybe because we don't offer it. I think there's other reasons too, but and that's leasing. That's leasing a vehicle, and there's pros and cons to leasing, and it really has to fit the customer that's going to lease the vehicle or have the option to lease or purchase it. Uh, Man, what's some great pros to leasing a vehicle?
You got three options when you lease. When your lease is up, you have the option to purchase the vehicle, which you already know the purchase price the day you sign your lease. You know at the end of your lease term what you're gonna be able to buy the vehicle for. You can also trade it in. So you walk in and your lease agreement's up. They walk around the vehicle, make sure everything checks out. Yep, everything checks out. Well, you can trade that in and you can get into another lease, or you can just walk away from it. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not obligated to that vehicle once your terms are up and everything. No excessive damage, the miles ain't over, yada yada yada. But there's good things to a lease if you don't drive a lot. 10, 12, 15,000 miles, or the average lease is 10 to 12 is the most common. 15 is about the biggest as far as miles wise. But you if you lived in the city and you didn't drive much outside the city, leases I think are a great thing. Your all your taxes and titles are built into your payments. That you don't get all that like you do when you own your own vehicle. But you also, at the end of the day, the lease, I see it both ways. You're paying this payment for a car, but then when you go to trade it in, you still don't have nothing. I mean, you might have a little bit of equity, but you kind of know what your equity is when you sign the paperwork.
Well, really, at the end of the day, if you're trading before it's paid off, you don't own that vehicle anyway.
That's where I was going next. Like 90% of people don't pay a car off.
The bank owns the vehicle.
100%.
So
just like a lease.
And when he's talking about trading it in, the good thing about the trade in is if it's worth more than what your residual is, then you get that equity.
100%.
So let's say you can buy the vehicle for 25,000, and we're saying, hey, the vehicle's worth 30,000. Well, you got $5,000 that you can put down on your own, the next vehicle, the next lease. You can cash it out and go to a cruise, go shopping.
If you purchase a new lease or a vehicle, but if you walk away, you also walk away from that $5,000.
So that where it goes back to it is, let's say if you're, let's say that you're upside down, and just so people understand, when we say you're upside down, that means that the car is not worth the value of what is still owed on the vehicle. So let's say if your residual is still at 25,000, but we're saying, hey, the vehicle's only worth 20,000. Well, you get to walk away, clean your hands and be done with it.
Yep.
So there's definitely great options with leasing. You're going to be underneath warranty majority of the time. There is some exceptions, if you're going way over miles, or say if you did a 15,000 mile lease for 3 years, well, then you'd be out of the comprehensive coverage by the time you ran up all your miles over the years. So, but rather than that, leasing can be a great benefit for people. And then there's sometimes, a person that's probably not ready to lease is kind of like what you're saying is, just driving a lot of miles. And around this area, that's probably why we don't see it very often, just because of the area we live in. I mean, heck, Dwayne, you drive how many miles to work?
40 one way. So on an average day, I'll put 100 miles a day on an average day, and then you take your weekends on top of it. You're looking at 600 miles a week. Well, That's 30,000 a year instead of the 10, 12, or 15. So you got to look at it both ways. For people that live in the country and you drive a lot of miles.
Well, yeah, they're driving 40 miles and only seen 4 houses. I, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
But I mean, just like you live in Platte City and you drive up here. It's what, 30.
yeah, it's a good 30
Yep.
miles.
I mean, it depends on your situation, I guess. If you got grandparents that don't drive a lot, they don't want to spend $40,000 on the car, but they just want a cheap payment. That's a great option because they might drive 10,000 miles a year, and that'd be a perfect idea for them. But a lot of the people around here, we don't see it because they just drive too much. Like you said, ball games. When you got kids involved in sports, you might be 20 miles from home one day on a Monday playing baseball. Well, come Thursday, you might be 60 miles from home. And then you got tournaments on the weekends. And it just, miles rack up real fast when you live in rural Missouri.
Sure. I mean, you drive, like I said, you drive 30 or 40 miles. You've only passed a few different houses. I mean, the only thing that you probably did pass is probably a Casey's, a Dollar General, and an elevator. I,
A grain elevator.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's right.
But let's say if someone is working from home and they're not, maybe they are only going to the ball games, and they're not driving a daily routine, you know, the 30 or 40 miles a day, and you're just those one-offs, once a week going to a game, uh, then or going to the store. Those vehicles and leasing would be a great option for people. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and you're switching out. You're getting a newer vehicle every 2 to 3 years. Depending on what uh, term you went with, and we always have incentives to do a pull ahead. Um, they always want you to get back into it. So GM will send you something. Hey, go to Victory Chevrolet and they'll get you another vehicle to lease if you're ready to turn that one in about 6 months before your lease is up. And they do that just so they kind of keep you in the GM world,
Return business,
you
sure.
know which there's nothing wrong with that by any means.
Nope.
And I know a few people that do lease, and it does work well for them. And the other good news is when you lease, say if you're buying a $50,000 car, um, or you're leasing a $50,000 car, you're not paying sales tax on that 50,000. You're paying the sales tax on your monthly payment.
Yep.
So you're not paying sales tax on that entire 50,000, and that's big money. I mean, you do sales tax on 50,000 anymore. Um, that's heck. You're probably over $4,000.
And I think leasing's good, especially you take a family where the husband, which always tries to keep the wife in a nicer vehicle for the kids because she usually hauls the kids. If you just use that vehicle to drive back and forth to work, sporting events, family stuff, you can usually keep your miles in that range. But then every 3 years, you're putting her in a brand new car, keeping your payments lower than they would be if you had purchased them. So I think leases can be really good for a lot of people. It just for the people that drive a lot of miles, they
Sure, I'm putting
may not be the best.
you and I. We're probably putting 20,000 miles plus a year on our vehicles, is because you know we
Just for
drive
work.
just
Just
for
for
work.
work. Yep.
You're driving 40, 45 minutes a day, one way. But the average person is probably only 12 to 15,000 miles.
I would say so. Living in a bigger city, more rural, everything's closer. For me, I got to drive 30 miles to get to a grocery store. Um, that's just where I live. I it's to go to the hardware store. We have a local one, but if you want to go, say, somewhere on a Sunday to purchase stuff, you got to drive 30 or 40 miles. So miles rack up quick.
And then there's sometimes that I'm driving up this direction and I'm not even working. A couple weeks ago, Dwayne wanted to go shoot some blue rock. I said, "Gosh, dang, Dwayne, I guess I'll come up and uh, shoot some blue rock." So we went out, and man, I had to give him a few pointers, but he did just fine.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story on that day. His oldest boy, Dayton, last time he shot a gun, he remembers shooting a 22 and it hurt his shoulder. That's how young this kid was. and he showed Dad at the end. He won by 1 rock, but he showed old Pops how to shoot a shotgun, and it was entertaining because Dayton is very humble. He don't talk a lot of smack. He's very humble.
Takes after Dad.
He left his skills out there on the broken blue rock. Now Dad, he talked a lot of smack. Dad kept bumping his gums, and of course I'm bumping my gums for Dayton because he wouldn't. And in the end, Dayton wins, and he was still humble about it. He let his dad just chew on his own crawl for a while because the kid won.
Well,
and he hasn't shot a gun since he was probably 5.
Yeah, but it's one of those deals, Dwayne. You know, you want to whip up on them, but you don't want to beat them too bad that their confidence gets down.
Okay, so now that I told this story, the real story is Derrick shooting a shotgun that he bought for himself, and it's not just an ordinary break open single shot shotgun. It's a fancy over and under trap gun. Like, this gun's made to shoot trap.
It's a nice one.
I bring Dayton a turkey shotgun with a red dot that I've never shot. I bought it in Montana. It's never been shot by me, so I don't know nothing about this gun. He shoots it a few times, and the gun's shooting low. Like, you got to aim a foot above it in order to hit this blue rock. And he learns how to shoot it after I told him what he needs to do, and he still beats his dad. That's like the David and Goliath thing. Like, the boy overcome this big obstacle to beat his dad, and he's not a shooter. Like, the kid hasn't picked up a gun for 20 years.
Well, I mean, hey, sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while. I mean,
it was good for me because this is like the shenanigans we do. I just like to rub it in. Now, if that was my son beating me, I'd still be hearing about it.
I wouldn't have said a word.
You wouldn't have. I mean, sure you wouldn't have. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
We had a good time.
Sure.
Another thing I want to talk to you about is, man, I'm getting a lot of grief about these hats.
If you took that hat and you put it over a coffee can and you let it dry, you would look like your grandpa. That is a grandpa's hat.
This is a sweet hat.
The hat you're wearing is pretty nice. That's a sweet hat. This one, sweet hat.
I actually know.
That's something you win at the bingo hall.
I know the guy that actually designed this hat.
So
and I know the guy that designed the hat that you're wearing.
I know, and I don't understand it.
Let's just say I think his designs are pretty sweet. I think he does a pretty good job. But this is what I want to do here, and hopefully we can get this out. I need some help from the outside world rather than everyone here at Victory Chevrolet. So I'll tell you what, if you could do me a favor, and
this one,
and I'll tell you what, if it's on, what is it, on Facebook, you can put a thumbs up for the red bill hat there. Hold that one up, Dwayne. You can just give it the old thumbs up and give me the heart. I need the heart right here. You need to just go ahead. Take the 10th of a second, hold down the like button, and there's that little heart that pops up. Push it. Show these guys that this is the hat. This is the one. And I'll tell you what I'll do. If you vote and you share it, please share it. Help me out. These guys are all over me. And I'll do a couple different raffles, and we'll give whatever hat they want. Even if they don't vote for the best hat, I can still get them another good hat that was designed very well. So I'm sure dual marketing will help us out with that. And, talking about that as well, Dwayne, when we first got you on here, it was the first time, I don't know if everyone knows, and most likely don't, but dual marketing helps us out quite a bit, and they help us with these podcasts. And they never asked us one time to do makeup until today, until Dwayne was asked to come on. And I was a little shocked. We've done a few of these podcasts, and they'd never said anything in the past. And
Did it work?
But
Did it work?
no, not at all. But hey, they got you. I guess they got you fixed up how they wanted you to look.
If they could do anything to clear up any blemishes, that hat wouldn't be in the whole program. That hat is 1960 if I've ever seen it. I don't even know if my grandpa would have wore a hat like that, honestly.
Have you ever heard the circle of life? That's
a half circle, and that's not that.
Well, I'm telling you right now, this hat has came back around.
No,
it is. It's back. I mean, I know a lot of people don't know who Cole Trickle is, but Cole Trickle, he would be all over this, and because
he also got paid a lot of money to wear that hat.
I'm just telling you, hey, Rubbin's racing. Rubbin's racing.
Now, you put these hats side by side, and I promise you, it's there's a difference. There is a difference.
Man, this is my favorite hat. That thing is clean. I don't even golf, and I almost want to go golfing.
That doesn't even look remotely like a golf hat, Derrick.
You better turn on ESPN. I'm telling you right now, they're all over. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Boom.
No.
Hole in one.
No, I don't watch ESPN, and I can promise you that hat might be on the knife show. Like QVC knife show or whatever that is. That hat that's obsolete.
The guy
you brought it back for the circle of life, but that's it.
The guy he sells the sham, what is that?
ShamWow.
ShamWow. If we were half as good as that guy selling, we wouldn't.
Well, you're not selling hats. You're selling cars.
Yeah, but if they can get a sweet hat.
If you were selling hats, you'd be out of business, my friend.
I don't know about that.
I know so.
I'm telling you.
Those things would have a birthday in your store.
No. Those things are clean. That's all
yeah, they're clean.
Well, hey, either way, let's hopefully we get hopefully we can get some views. Make sure you share it, like it, love it. I know you'll probably hit the old heart more than anything. And then we'll give a couple hats away. But either way, Dwayne, I appreciate you coming on with us. And
absolutely.
It's been fun, and I'm sure you got something pulled up your sleeve coming up, with the shenanigans.
The next time I get on here, I will display the last shenanigan I pulled on you.
Well, hopefully not on me.
Oh, it'll be on you.
Man, I'm pretty sure your birthday's coming up a little bit before mine.
I don't care about those. I've had enough shenanigans pulled on me. I'm pretty good with them. I know whenever you opened up your cake and you seen the then and now picture, you were about beside yourself. You were mad at someone. You just couldn't tell who.
Let's just say
your wife, your brother, Billy, and I. I think it was a combination of all of us, but Derrick's one thing about Derrick, he don't like his pictures out there. He's all about doing this podcast, but old picture to new picture, he's not about that.
Not a good comparison, which is okay.
Well,
I mean, I'm fine with
age. You get it's like wine, Derrick. You get sweeter with age,
buddy. That don't look like any type of wine. Let's just say wine does not swell. I'm pretty sure.
The cork kind of swells.
Yeah, okay. So the cork does, but the wine doesn't.
Oh, goodness.
But hey, but I'm sure you'll put a shenanigan on somebody.
I'll have it on you.
And hopefully not on me, and we'll share a couple
Maybe
more
we
stories.
should get the twins. The dual marketing twins. Maybe we could pull something on them too.
I'm pretty sure that'd be pretty.
Yeah, I think we should try that.
I'm pretty sure that'd be, those two guys. They, who are those two guys? I'm ready to pump you up.
See, I was thinking more like the Batabi brothers. When they stand up there and they just do the old head bopping, and them two, they are good kids. I will say that they're fun to work with.
Well, if not, I don't know if you seen their freaking arms. They'll put you in a freaking headlock. I mean, that's what I thought. He's gonna have to put a headlock on you when he putting that makeup on you. But Hey, but it's funny though, is you didn't fight back.
Hey man, I've had a daughter. I know what it's like. I've been there. So have you. You've had makeup on. I've seen pictures of
Easy.
Haley.
All right, time to cut. All right, right there, Victory Chevrolet. You're watching the old Victory Boys podcast here at Victory Chevrolet in Savannah, Missouri. Hometown boys, hometown deals right here, and no one beats a Victory deal. Come out and see us, Savannah, Missouri.